Joining me now is Mohamed Huque, the Director of Community Impact with the Toronto Foundation. Good morning to you. So we are seeing in this report that those in their 20s are struggling. Why is it this way? What can you tell us?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I think there's quite a lot of reasons why they're struggling. When we were able to draw some strong correlations between increased screen time and associations with heightened rates of anxiety and depression. You pointed to the fact that there was increased access to food banks, nearly 6 times more now than back in 2019. A lot of that can probably be attributed to the rising inflation and the affordability crisis young folks are experiencing. So quite a lot of factors. Our research really looked at rates of mental health and financial stability and also social connectedness. So there are quite a lot of areas that that young people are particularly struggling, these 20-something-year-olds.
So what's the solve? I mean, you've given us a very long list of things that require attention. So what's the solution here for people in their 20s as they try to build a future for themselves?
Well, certainly no single solution. One of the things that we're calling for, or a set of recommendations from our report, is the need for more face-to-face, in-person interactions. I mentioned, the screen time associated with anxiety and depression, and younger folks are increasingly more likely to wanting to come into the office as compared to those 30 and above. They prefer coming into the office and establish and building some of those connections and relationships with colleagues. And so we're really asking for employers to enable some of that to happen and making sure that these are meaningful connections that are taking place in office settings. And also for a lot of nonprofit sector service providers, to making sure that those in the 20-somethings age cohort are distinct from youth and are certainly distinct from older adults. So making sure that there are programs and services that are catering to that cohort.
Mohamed, I got to say, I think a lot of employers would love to hear you say what you just said again about bringing people into the office again. This is really considered a unique demographic at a unique time. How come?
Well, 1 in 7 Torontonians, are in this age bracket of between 21 and 29. So it is a growing share of our population. But their folks are struggling, and I think we want to be able to make sure that we're looking at them concretely because they have distinct needs, and in our often cases facing disproportionate impacts of some of the factors that are facing our city as a whole. But I think these younger folks in particular are bearing the brunt of some of the major forces, especially around housing and food insecurity.
Mohamed, I'm really glad you could join us today. Mohamed Huque is the Director of Community Impact with the Toronto Foundation.